Hey guys, it's Megan, and welcome back to Megan Read That. I'm in a different location today because it's a bit overcast, and this was the closest I could get to my window and to get like good light. Not sure how I feel about it. There's a lot of like dead space over here, but we'll live. I haven't posted a video in like a week and a half because I've been hella busy with filming my senior thesis, and we're currently in a break between the first one and the second one, so gotta squeeze in this video, so sorry about that. Once we get done filming though, which will be in like 2 weeks, I'll be like much more free to do this. It's just right now, like every day I gotta be on set. Every day I gotta pull up to set for like 6 hours. Today we're gonna be talking about 12 romantasies that I am really excited for. And if you're coming here for Rex, I'm gonna be honest, these are probably some of the most talked about romantasy books, so we're not getting very underrated on this list. When making this list, I limited myself to one book per author. So there's some authors on here who I really want to read a large selection of their books, but just one is on this list. And I figured since it's Valentine's Day and the start of Romantasyathon Fall Ball, that I would post this video now. I will say though that none of the books on my Romantasy Fall Ball TBR are on this list, so sorry about that. So to start out, there's 2 books that I don't own physically, so let's talk about those. First, we have the book talk Darling Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I'm hopefully gonna get a copy of this for my birthday in a couple weeks, so it will be in my hand soon. But honestly, I don't know a lot about these books. I know that people like them, and I know that I want to read them. In a land of the unforgiving desert, there isn't much a girl wouldn't do for a glass of water. 24-year-old Cirrus Fane is good at keeping secrets. No one knows about the strange power she possesses, or the fact that she's been picking pockets and stealing from the Undying Queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. But a secret is like an eye. Sooner or later, it's bound to come undone. When Cirrus comes face to face with death himself, she inadvertently reopens a gateway between realms and is transported to the land of ice and snow. The Fae have always been the stuff of myth, of legends, of nightmares, but it turns out they're real, and Cirrus has landed herself in the middle of a centuries-long conflict that might just get her killed. The first of her kind to tread the frozen mountains of Yavalia in over 1,000 years, Solera is mistakenly binds herself to Kingfisher, a handsome Fae warrior who has secrets and nefarious agendas of his own. He will use her alchemist magic to protect his people no matter what it cost him or her. Death has a name. It is Kingfisher of Gengate. His past is murky, his attitude stinks, and he's the only way Cirrus is going to make it home. I'm gonna be honest, I never read that synopsis. I did not know what this book was about. I know everyone loves it. I know that the romance is supposed to be giving, and I know I'm gonna read it. So that's that. Yeah, this is supposed to be a very addictive and fast-paced book, and I'm very excited for it. The next book, which I do know a good deal about because this is the 3rd book in a series, is Under Black Skies by Claire Sager. This is the 3rd book in the Beneath Black Sails series by her. Claire Sager also has written A Kiss of Iron, which is another book that I want to get to, but as I said, only putting one book on here per author, and I figured it would be better to finish a series from her than start a new one. So one of my goals is to finish this series. This follows Vice, and she is a sea witch, which means she has the power to like control the seas and storms and whatnot. And so she is a pirate. Sorry, I read it like a couple months ago and I'm trying to figure out what is in the 1st book and what is in the 2nd book. I feel like I'm really bad about giving synopsis for stuff, so sorry about that. But Knight is a sea witch hunter, and he like goes undercover and like infiltrates her ship, and then they must work together, and there's a treasure and lots of pirate ships and pirate fights. I did really like the first one. The second one definitely felt a little repetitive, but I do want to just give the third one a go just to see more how it expands, because I feel like we've been dealing with a very narrow portion of like the world and like the magic and systems and stuff, and so I would like to get a deeper look at that. So really excited for that. And on the same note, let's talk about the other book that I have on here that is a sequel, which is Lady of Ashes by Melissa K. Rowick. These are like the old indie paperback copies of this. They have like much newer, prettier covers, but I got these at a used bookstore for like $4 each, so they work for that. This is the third book in the Lady of Darkness stories, which follows Scarlet, who is an assassin, and she is kind of been pushed aside by her assassin lord and forced to live in this like noble's house, and she gets a mission that if she completes, she'll be let back into the Assassin's Guild and also find out who killed her mother. It's very much like Throne of Glass vibes. I really enjoyed it. I will say that I took a break from this series on purpose because it was getting very repetitive and just character choices. It felt like no one was ever like learning anything, making better choices. So I took like a couple months break so that hopefully when I get back into this one, it feels less repetitive, since I haven't read it in a while. But yeah, there are definitely elements of this I liked. There were parts of book 2 that were like 5-star vibes, and then there were some choices that characters made that I was like, why the fuck are you doing this? What are we doing? What are we doing? I should read this soon. I should read all of these soon, but like this one especially because I like flew through Lady of Darkness, so this would definitely be a good book to pick up. And then I guess let's get into the rest of these. First up, we have Blood and Steel by Helen Scher. With her death foretold, Athela Zoltera only has 3 years to become what she has dreamed of being, a warrior legend. Women are forbidden to wield blades, so she has to train in secret her entire life. Now racing against the clock, she fights to secure her place in the elite guard charged with the production of the 5 rounds. The sparring and hazing of the new trainees borders on deadly, but even more dangerous is her growing attraction to Wild Hawthorne, her unwilling warrior chaperone. All around them, schemes are afoot and darkness looms. Will Athena pass the frivolous initiation test and take her place as a champion of Besmar, or will she be invaded will the invaded evil snatch away her dream before it starts? I just want to read all these books right now. But they're all too long to read for Romantasyathon. I don't have time to read these books in a week. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I've heard really good things, especially about Wilder Hawthorne, so excited to give it a go. I also know that Helen Scher just had a new series that's a spin-off of this just come out. I've been hearing a lot of things about it, so I want to get in on the hype. Next book, Flame and Sparrow by S.M. Gaither. This is about like an angels walking among us, whatnot. On the eve of her 20th birthday, Karis woke to the sight of a divine creature dying outside her home. 2 weeks later, her sister disappears, leaving nothing but a trail of blood in her face. Convinced the gods were responsible for the disappearance, Karis has spent the past 5 years plotting her revenge with the help of a cutthroat band of like-minded rebels. So when Darvian, one of her world's most powerful deities, descends upon her kingdom in the search of humans worthy of serving him, Karis knows what she must do. Earning a place at the god's side will allow her to help find out what truly happened to her sister and then destroy the gods from the inside for what they did. But yeah, I've heard really good things about this. I believe it's a duology. I know SM Gaither also has another book set in after this one, but this one's like a prequel. But this is the one that I'm most excited for, so I wanted to give it a go. And yeah, let's add it to the TBR. Where should I put, like, I'm gonna switch it. We're gonna put these hidden. We're gonna hide these. Yeah, that looks good. Next up is House of Bane and Blood by Alyssa L. Minard. This is like a steampunk urban fantasy style like gang marriage of convenience, I believe, that I've heard really good things about. It's also not nearly as chunky as the rest of these, so that's a plus. In a city split into two opposing sides, power comes in many forms: bloodlines, money, love, and most importantly, secrets. As an heiress in the most notorious family in Lynchhaven, Camilla Marquez is doing all she can to keep her father's syndicate, the Iron Saint Railway, from slipping into bankruptcy. When the gorgeous and depraved Nikolai Anto, the leader of a rival family, offers to pay off the inspector in exchange for her hand, she has no choice but to give up not only her throne but her name. So yeah, this is a urban fantasy. I may read it for Romantasyathon, since I know that one of the bonus prompts for that is a urban fantasy. This feels like a mix between like dark mafia romance and like romantasy, so I'm very excited to see how that like combination works. Adding to the pile. Next book we have is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I'm sure you've heard enough about this. This is about dragons. The creators did not expect their beloved dragons to sail skyward upon their end, to curl into balls just beyond gravity's grip, littering the sky with tombstones, with moons. They certainly did not expect them to fall. So yeah, this follows... Ooh, this book is so pretty. Why is it so pretty? I just want to read all these. As an assassin for the rebellion group Flora, Reveille's job is to complete orders and never get caught. When a rival bounty hunter turns her world upside down, blood spills, heart breaks, and Reveille finds herself imprisoned by the Guild of Nobles, a powerful group of fae who turn her into a political statement. Crushed by the loss of his greatest love, Kava Vagur took the head of a king and donned his melded throne. Now on a tireless quest to quell the never-ending ache in his chest, a clue lures him into the capital's highest security prison, where he stumbles upon the imprisoned Reva. Echoes of the past race between them. There's more to their story than meets the eyes, but some truths are too poisonous to swallow. I know this is a very beloved romantasy, especially in terms of like dragons and stuff, and I'm very excited to read it, as I've said with every fucking other book here. This one is chunker. It's actually not that big here, but the paperback version of this is gigantic. I saw that and I was like, I'm not buying that. That looks not comically large. Another book that's literally all over the internet is Spark of the Everlane by Penn Cole. I know that this book, especially the second and third book, are extremely beloved and really complex fantasy romances, and so I wanted to give it a go. In a mortal world colonized by the gods and ruled over by the descended, their cruel magic-wielding offspring, Diem Beltoro yearns to escape the sulfur life of her poor village. Her mother's sudden disappearance and the discovery of a dangerous secret about her past offers Diem an unexpected opportunity to enter the dark world of descended royalty and unlock the web of mysteries her mother left behind. When the dying king's handsome, ignorant heir, watching her every move, and a ruthless rebel alliance recruiting her to join the growing civil war, Diem will have to navigate the unwritten rules of love, power, and politics in order to save her family and all of mortal kind. I definitely heard that this one is definitely slower and very like tropey in terms of the plot than the other ones, and the romance isn't as prominent in this first book, but I'm still excited to give it a go. Next, we have A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen. I will say that I also would like to finish, or at least get a good chunk of the way in The Bridge Kingdom by Daniel L. Jensen, but I did want to put this book on here because I know the sequel is coming out this year, and I would like to read that when it comes out. This is a Viking romance that I believe is a arranged marriage. Bound and unwanted marriage, Freya spends her days gutting fish, but dreams of becoming a warrior and putting an axe in her boorish husband's back. Freya's dreams abruptly become a reality when her husband betrays her to the region's Garl, landing her in a fight to the death against his son Borge. To survive, Freya is forced to reveal her deepest secret. She possesses a drop of a goddess blood, which makes her a shield maiden with magic capable of repelling any attack. And it's been foretold that such magic will unite the fractured nation of Zealots beneath the one who controls the shielded maid's face. Believing he's destined to rule Xylan as the king, the frantic Jarl binds Freya with a blood oath and orders Borgen to protect her from enemies. Desperate to prove her strength, Freya must train to fight and learn to control her magic, all while facing peerless tests set by the gods. The greatest test of all, however, may be resisting her forbidden interaction to Borgen. If Freya succumbs to her lust for the charming and fierce warrior, she risks not only her own destiny, but the fate of all her people she has sworn to protect. Yeah, I really liked The Bridge Kingdom by Daniel Elchinson. I'm interested to see how she does like more like fantastical elements, because The Bridge Kingdom doesn't really have any like fantasy elements in it, so I'm excited to see what she does with that. On the pile it goes. Okay, next we have this stunning edition of One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. That is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition that I got recently that is gorgeous. Elizabeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. Elizabeth's final needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, misty, locked kingdom she calls home. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elizabeth meets a mysterious highwayman on a forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure the kingdom of the dark magic infecting it, except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the desert, and guilty of high treason. He and Elizabeth have until solstice together, 12 providence cards, the keys to the cure. But as the stakes heighten and their undenying attraction intensifies, Elizabeth is forced to face her darkest secret yet. Nightmare is slowly, darkly taking over her mind, and she might not be able to stop him. I've heard that this has a very unique magic system with like tarot cards and stuff, so I'm very excited about that. I do know that like the romance in this one is like very much confined to this one, so I think that's interesting since a lot of Romantasy is like multiple books long, so I'm interested to see if it feels complete within this book. Also, I will say these are the goddamn whitest pages I've ever seen in my life. You can't really tell like now, but like it's stark. It looks like printer paper. It's kind of is a little bit jarring, but it's also gorgeous, so I'll deal. I've heard great things about Rachel Gillick. I know she also has a new book coming out this year in a new series, and I'm very excited for that as well. Next up, we have Fear of the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I know this is another one that has like dragons in it and stuff, but it does have one of the most stunning maps I've ever seen. Like the sleigh. An exiled princess teams up with the last man she thought she could trust in the start of a dazzling and unforgettable epic fantasy romance series. As a child, Elwyn Atera was ripped from her dragons and imprisoned by her father, King Garrick of Imrath. Now, years later, Elwyn is a woman destined to free her dragons. Having established a secret kingdom of her own called Estilin, she's ready to do what's necessary to save her people and seek vengeance, even if it means aligning herself with the commander of Caden Velis, the most feared and dangerous man in the kingdom. An immersive fantasy filled with sizzling, reluctant allies to lovers' romance, a world to get lost in, perilous quests, dragon bonds, and an entertaining band of characters to read for. Fear the Flame marks the stunning debut of Olivia Rose Darling. I'm excited for this. I do remember it being pretty hyped when it first came out, indie published, but I haven't heard a bunch of it since it came out, but I'm still nonetheless very excited for it. And finally, we have The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. This follows a girl who is chosen by the Hades to compete in a series of challenges where whoever wins, their god is like God. The gods love to play with us mere mortals, and every 100 years we let them. I've never been favored by the gods, far from it, thanks to Zeus. Living as a cursed office clerk for the Order of Thieves, I just keep my head down and hope the capricious beings who rule from Olympus will notice me. Not an easy feat, given San Francisco is Zeus's patron city, but I make do. I survive until the night I tangle with a different god, the worst god, Hades. For the first time ever, the ruthless king of the other world has entered the crucible, the deadly contest the gods hold to determine a new ruler to sit on the throne of Olympus. But instead of fighting their own battles, the gods name mortals to compete in their set. So why in the underworld did Hades choose me, a sarcastic nobody with a curse on our shoulders, as his champion? And why does my heart trip every time he says I'm his? I don't know if I'm a pawn, bait, or something else entirely to this dangerous, tempting god. How can I when he has more secrets than stars in the sky? Because Hades is playing by his own rules, and death will win at any cost. This also has stunning ink papers. All of these books are gorgeous. I just want to read them all. So yeah, this has been compared to like Percy Jackson and the Hunger Games, but like Romantasy. So I'm very excited for this as well. As I've said with all of these books, because they're on this TBR, because I'm excited to read them. I just want to read all of these right now. I'm like, why can't I read these? Technically I could, but like, I just want to read them right now. But thank you so much for watching, and let me know what Romantasy books are on your TBR, and I'll see you next time. Bye!